This episode is brought to you by Mithril. Hey, so, Mithril's got a new story coming out, and as you guys know, I tend to like some of these stories that they tend to be coming out with a lot of times, and by all means, I pass them on to you guys. The story we have this time that's looking really nice is Full Moon King. That is Full Moon King. I'm just repeating it for those in the back that didn't hear me. So, you guys should probably check this one out. If you like a modern dark fantasy between gods, hunters, and their creator, the Dark One, and the answers to a eons long stalemate, all in the Full Moon King. Which, I mean, sounds pretty awesome to me. But let's go down this list. You know how Mithril works, guys. But if you don't, I'm gonna explain it to you anyway. So, in Full Moon King, there are already 60 episodes that you could actually binge already. But the first 15 episodes are completely free. And then there are free daily tickets that allow you to unlock the subsequent episodes from there on. And on top of that, if, just in case, you wanted to get a little bit further in the story and catch up to all the latest chapters that are up there, it only costs like 9 to 16 cents for coins. Which, I mean, I don't know about you, but like 9 to 16 cents isn't much, especially if you want to catch up on your favorite things. Imagine buying a book for 9 to 15 cents. That's a lot. An entire chapter of a book for 9 cents? That's pretty sick. Good deal to me, if you ask me. And it seems like a reasonable price to ask for anybody. So, by all means, guys, go check out Full Moon King on Mithril. This one's a good one. But I've held your time up long enough, so let us get back to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Paper Play Action on this lovely day in which we are getting ready to celebrate. Actually, it's Christmas Eve today.
Yep. By the time we're actually recording this, it is indeed Christmas Day, actually.
You're right. It is officially Christmas Day.
And I am opening up presents as we
listening
speak.
to it, it'll probably be the day after Christmas. Unless you, for some reason, listen on the day of Christmas.
As soon as it uploads, I immediately listening to it.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, dedicated fan base, man. Yeah.
Hey, Sundays are the usual days it goes up, so that just makes sense.
Yeah.
For all those lovely listeners there at your homes enjoying yourselves, drinking your hot cocoa and enjoying
Eggnog.
a nice time.
Eggnog.
I mean, it's a cold day depending on where you're at. Maybe it's hot cocoa.
Yeah. I mean,
hot eggnog, I guess.
for the ones for our fans listening in the U.S., yes, please stay warm. Most of the U.S. right now is like in a freezing state.
That's true.
Be very safe out there.
But for those of you who are out there, enjoy whatever holiday you're celebrating, whether it be Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever, honestly.
Christmas, or your own made-up holiday.
Yeah,
you
know what? If you have a made-up holiday, you should send it in to Paper Play Action. Maybe we'll celebrate it next year.
We do not judge. You do you.
Yeah, but by all means, you guys enjoy yourselves out there because it's a good time to be around with friends and family. And if you aren't, that is okay. Just keep them in mind. That's the deal. But we'll get into what we're all here for, and that is a lovely dose of the crazy stuff that we keep discovering and stuff like that that's out this week. This list is actually not super long or crazy, but it's not bad. Except for the fact that I guess we'll start off with something that's not on this list because I couldn't find a thing for it. But so the DCU EU is dead officially.
Yep.
It's gone.
Yep. Everything got pretty much. Yep. Every project essentially is currently been. Every existing project that is not already set to come out has been essentially canceled. Batgirl, Superman 2, Wonder Woman 3, pretty much everything. The only thing that's surprisingly still in development, fucking somehow, is The Flash.
No, also the Blue Beetle film is not actually canceled.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
those are two.
The Blue Beetle film, I think, is like it's still like super super early, so they haven't really done anything with it. While the Flash, are like after everything that's gone with it, I'm surprised you're still working on this.
Oh, the Flash should have been the first thing canceled. To be honest, it should have got canceled
Yeah,
before we got to this point. But you know,
I'd rather have the Flash canceled before Supergirl, honest, or Batgirl, honestly.
I'd rather have had the Flash canceled before just straight up just not having Black Adam
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So
No more Black Adam 2, and we're simply just starting from the beginning with this one. I thought, based on what we saw in the reports, that it was going to be the Young Superman film going to be the reboot button for everything, but apparently it's not. So we still got the Flash movie. Somehow that's going to work in, but you know for a fact that Aquaman 2 and Shazam 2, well, they're no longer going to matter in the larger scale of things. They're just going to be movies on their own release. That's all.
honestly, technically speaking, what I'd probably prefer at this point is just for them to just do movies on their own and just have characters show up as if they've already existed. As long as you keep the actors consistent. If you want to do a universe in which it's like we just decided to do like a Batman movie, but like partway through the Batman movie, like uh Green Lantern's there, and you're like, oh, well that's cool, right? Right? Or like little things like that, where it's just like characters will just show up on their own, kind of like how they do in comics, and just treat it as like, yeah, they just exist somewhere else, and then when we talk about them, we'll talk about them.
Yeah, but I guess it's a little difficult, especially with continuity, when they do show up and they have a specific look or thing that happened to them in their own film. You gotta explain, like, what happened to you? Like, you gotta watch this, or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I said just have it be like a cameo or extended cameo. If they're a secondary character, it's a secondary character. Yeah. You just have them show up, do the thing, and then like anything that gets explained gets explained. As long as you keep it consistent, like their appearances are like consistent with pretty much the other movies, they think it'll be fine.
Or they can do like what they actually did in the comics, where characters like at the point of either death or got in prison, and they never explain how that villain or hero suddenly appeared in the next one panel as they've been in dire straits. Like, there's no way you should be here right now.
I mean, in comics, a lot of times they just say that like this either happened before or after certain events, and you could just kind of piece it together. But I feel like with movies, you would want to like have it be a bit more coherent. But I'd say just having the idea of like instead of having this arcing story that's building up to like the Justice League, it's like obviously when all the Justice League members show up, right? You just go we can have a Justice League movie now, right?
Yeah. Well, Marvel's been kind of doing that a little bit too, with kind of do like in between stories or movies that happened in the past, without following a consistent timeline. It's just the events are. Well,
it's been a little weird because people are expecting to be building up to something, and the problem is with the new Marvel stuff.
They haven't been really building. There's only 2 projects of this entire.
King is generally the only thing that's being built towards right now.
Yeah, but it's only been 2 things that have been building up towards. That was Loki and fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp coming up soon. That's about it. Everything else has been their own.
Nothing else has really talked about Kang at all.
Yeah,
and like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're trying to change around status quo and stuff like that, but you're kind of also gonna be like looking at things and going like, okay, well, I don't really know what we're supposed. I mean, I guess New World Order got set up, but it doesn't really feel like New World Order. That's also technically the Thunderbolts is being set up too, but like the problem with like this new wave of Marvel like films, Phase 4 in general, is that it's very unclear where things are going. Like you can tell certain things, but not everything.
In the bigger scale of things, yeah, it's very unclear because each film for the most part, they're like their own interpersonal adventure of sorts, but still like, well, some of them introducing that concept of multiverse, but again, the execution is not really delved into too much. It's like a brief glimpse and then just hand waved away.
Like, for instance, She-Hulk, I think doesn't do a bad job because what it's trying to do is reintroduce the Netflix characters. So we're reading Daredevil, right? So Daredevil shows back up, and you're like, okay.
But they did that in Hawkeye.
Yeah, we also got like a little bit of it in Hawkeye, but that's a perfect example where it's like characters show up as like cameos, and you're like, I get it. Like I know, like you don't actually need an like, Kingpin shows up, and you're like, it's Kingpin, and everybody's like, I understand. Granted,
then
it's playing off the notion that you've watched Daredevil, but like Kingpin has never shown up in the MCU films before, so it's just like
no, especially with that actor as Kingpin, so it's mainly for the fans in that regard. And Kingpin is like, well.
But to be fair, it's weird because those Netflix series are like originally a part of it.
Should we say spoilers for Hawkeye, because there's technically spoilers?
It's been like a year.
Okay.
I watched Hawkeye like around this time last year.
Fair enough. Same here. It's just that Hawkeye, Kingpin just shows up as the overarching villain at the end for it, and unless you watch the previous shows, you would never realize like who he fully is. They announced him by name, but not really like why he's formidable or why this actor is playing this character and all that such. And I mean, they did the similar thing with No Way Home. So if you didn't watch Daredevil beforehand, before watching No Way Home, you have no point of reference of who Matt Murdock is and why he's able to catch that brick despite him being blind.
Yeah, if you know, you know, and it's just kind of one of those things. It's not even that much you know. You know, all you'd have to do is go turn around and be like, "Who is that?" And everybody's like, "That's Daredevil," and then you're done. You're caught off instantly. He's like, "That is the boy."
Yeah.
And vice versa with Kingpin, it's just like, that is the dude.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a weird middle ground, especially with Disney has been trying to be a lot more family friendly. Introducing the other cast members at Netflix is going to be tough. I know they part of the docket they're introducing is with the new Daredevil show. They're introducing Asian Iron Fist in this one, replacing Danny Rand.
Yeah,
but I want to know if they're gonna or even attempt to bring in Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or anybody or another type of show. The Punisher is gonna be hard to do.
That's the problem. So like, Luke Cage can be friendly. Like, it's not that bad for Luke Cage.
Luke Cage is. I want to know how they're doing it, and it's Jessica Jones is a little harder on that front because how her.
Well, yeah, hers is a significantly darker story, but Luke Cage is easy. You can be like, Luke Cage is here, and you're like, okay, I get it, right? Like, you understand immediately. He could just show up at any time, and you'd be like,
and he'd do his thing.
Jessica would be a little bit harder, just because it's like, we don't have to talk about it. To be honest, we don't have to talk about what happened in our previous series. We can just be like, she's here.
Yeah, right? But she has to. Well, her actions have to reflect her attitude. So she still has to be like potentially drunkard, still look ultra depressed, and not really a good person attitude as you typically feel for heroes, because she is paid to do investigations, but she does not like but she doesn't like dealing with people's bullshit. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, it's going to be interesting, especially if they try to go for that direction. The Punisher is going to be hard to do in general.
Punisher would be the hardest one, but I feel like it's also kind of easy because like half the characters in the MCU kill people. Iron Man kills people all the time.
Yeah, but the Punisher, he does things worse than that. He tortures them for information if necessary, and that's.
I mean, yeah, but we don't have to show the torture scene, right? Like, if we're talking about Punisher showing up as like he's not going to be the main antagonist of anybody's like show.
No, absolutely.
So it's just Punisher showing up and doing something. Then you don't have to do the super gory violence unless it's like the only time I'm like do gory violence is when it's Punisher's show. But if Punisher's anywhere else, you don't have to do it, right? Yeah. Like, it's just that simple. You don't have to do it. There's people that get shot all the time. All the Captain America movies involve people shooting. Bucky shoots people literally all the time and punches them to death. But like,
Iron Man kills hordes of Middle Eastern terrorists in the first movie.
I think the most brutal it's gotten in the MCU, I want to say, is probably the one dude that died in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's got his neck cut off essentially by a shield.
It was basically a decapitation.
Mm-hmm. We see the blood. We don't really see the body afterwards, though.
Yeah, you're like, well, I mean, if its head's gone, its head's gone. But if it's not, I mean, it's fine. We got the picture, like, for sure. And those characters are also walking around and just chilling.
Yeah. Well, on the plus side, at least we'll follow, if anything else, with the current DC plan up, and with James Gunn behind the helm. We know it's not longer going to try to go for that full family-friendly element of heroes not killing and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the perfect opportunity for them to kind of dig into that, like, DC is for adults or the mature audience kind of thing if they want to, because
I mean they don't have to.
They've been kind of doing that, and it's like, it's weird because, like, I guess I'm gonna trust James Gunn to do what he's supposed to with these characters, pretty much. Like, obviously, the fun part about DC Comics and comics in general, but I'm gonna say DC Comics in this instance, is because you can have really fun, morally, like, like just wacky characters next to people who are like the most brooding, depressing people ever. Like it's really interesting to see dark Batman, right? Like it's brooding Batman next to like John Constantine, who is like, I'm just a dude in a trench coat who does magic stuff, and you're like, when you look at that, you're like, this is ridiculous, right?
Yep.
But those two are like technically more in common than Superman, who shows up and he's like friendly and happy, right? Like, he's like, and he's truth and justice, along next to Wonder Woman, who is also truth and justice, but she'll cut your head off. So it's like, it works. You could do it. And I think it'll be fun to just have that kind of dichotomy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because of the past DC films, like everyone had to be kind of dark. And weirdly enough, Wonder Woman was probably the brightest film out of all of them. Well, no, that's not true. Aquaman was pretty bright. As far
Yeah,
as,
Aquaman.
like,
The first Aquaman Stroh movie was pretty bright, and
yeah, they had fun with Aquaman.
he was pretty dark when they first introduced him, but I think that was just the point of Justice League, though.
Well, yeah, Justice League was just a dark movie.
Yep.
Weirdly enough, and it's like,
and then you have the individual movies like a massive contrast, like
But I think
I think
that's actually what it should be, though. I understand what you mean, but I feel like it should be like that, Loki. Like, the Aquaman movies should be like, it's Aquaman, and then when you see him in like Justice League, he should still kind of be that fun kind of dude, but maybe he gets a bit more serious because he's like, this is kind of bigger than me, kind of situation, right? And then you have like Superman being all cheery or whatever and doing his hope, justice, pursuit of happiness thing, and then it's like, you don't take away the joy from Superman. He still represents what he represents. It's just, you just feel like the situation calls for him to be a bit more serious in this instance, right? Mm-hmm. You let the movies reflect them wholeheartedly, and then when they're in like cameo appearances or combination films or whatever you want to do with that, then you adjust them to the tone of the movie. Or what that movie is supposed to be. Because you could get a Justice League movie that's like super happy, but the Batman movies are depressing, right? And so you can just have Batman be gloomy in this like really cheery movie, and it's like, it comes off as a joke, but it's like, yeah, this man wouldn't be making jokes at this point.
No.
He could just be the straight man to a lot of their foolishness. Like, it'd be funny. So it kind of works itself out, but
yeah, but I think that's based on how much like inconsistent or like just maybe the tonal shifting differences between individual films and like collaborative at least, well, 2 collaborative projects. It was just too much for the studio to really get a hold of, especially since the collaborative projects were financial failures.
Yeah, and considering that they tried to do this without really any plan or goal, it's like it's.
They rushed way on it because they had Man of Steel immediately did a Batman v Superman. Like, whoa, you just jumped right into it.
That's the sad part, is that Man of Steel.
Yeah.
We never got the second one. That's the only sad part.
They never did.
It was supposed to be a trilogy, and we never got all 3.
Because they jumped the gun. Because it was like, first you got Man of Steel, which is essentially the DCU's Iron Man, and they immediately jumped to Avengers. It's skipping everyone else's. Like, what the fuck?
It was like, well, no, it's like they did like Civil War.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. They was like, hey, look, so we're gonna start off with Man of Steel, and then the next movie we're gonna do a Civil War. And it's like, wait a minute, we haven't even set up.
You skipped like 8 movies of setup before you even got to Civil War. You skipped so much.
And then we're gonna do like Avengers 1, technically speaking, but like,
so they went back. And then they did like
they're doing Avengers 1 because like everyone has to assemble for the first time, but it's weird because the threat is almost just Thanos. Like, it's like they chose the dude one step away from Thanos, because it's like, and the reason why I say this is because the actual next step from Steppenwolf is just Darkseid.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, I wonder what Justice League 2 would have been. Well, it was Darkseid.
I mean, that's what they did with Avengers, because Loki was only like a lackey of Thanos at the time, invading New York. So
but like we saw Thanos slowly make his way through the series, and like an entire other movie came out, which is them dealing with another type of problem, and then Thanos showed up.
Yeah.
Like, Thanos like actually arrived on screen and like did things, whereas like in this, like we see in the original Justice League, we see we see Darkseid.
Actually, no, Darkseid does not. No, Darkseid does not appear in the original Justice League. Like
No, because they showed the past thing where they talk about Darkseid.
Oh, no. The past thing was Steppenwolf himself. It wasn't Darkseid. The original Justice League, not Zack Snyder's cuts.
That's true. It's a little confusing with that one because it's like
There's two
the
versions
Snyder
of the
Cut
same
shows
movie.
a lot. The Snyder Cut shows a lot more, like a lot more.
It's confusing when you bring up the events of that film because again, there's two existing versions of it telling a different story.
One is a significantly better story than the other, though.
Agreed, but I don't know if it's worth it to 4-hour runtime though.
I think it uses its time wisely.
I disagree, long, but I won't get into that. Yeah.
I think it uses its time wisely. I think it talks about the right things. It uses its time to do setup and be like, "Hey, look, there's a thing. There's more world. Like it has a lot of world building going on too." So
it's the same. I mean, it's the same issues that I see with Justice League Snyder Cut. Is the same issues you have with Avatar 2, where there's a lot of bloat and pacing issues. That's my issue with it.
But isn't the whole deal with it is that it's like he knows he's not going to get another movie, so he just wants to give you the general idea of where he wanted to go with the rest of the films.
Yes, that I get for completing it, but if this went through, I can definitely understand why the executives at the time trying like this is unwatchable. You cannot show stuff this in like in a film in a cinema because this would not work out at all.
It did.
I mean, no. It worked out in TV. Did, so. I'm talking about in a cinema. If this was like as released as
they wouldn't really want to do it because it's like 4 hours long, obviously. Mm-hmm. So they want to sell as many movie tickets as possible, and being in a theater for 4 hours makes that really difficult.
Because you at most per cinema like screening 3 at most because that's a full 12-hour a day shift.
Yeah, you're right. Like an entire shift would be done before that movie was ready to get out.
Yep.
That's unfortunate, but that's fine.
Mm. Oh well, we'll see on moving forward with it. Hopefully, Blue Beetle is a good project follow up. We still got Aquaman 2 and Shazam.
I'm looking forward for Blue Beetle so badly.
Here's hoping they get their shit together for the Flash. I have no idea at this point.
I don't even want them to get their shit together for the Flash, honestly.
They're committed to finishing it. Here's hoping they actually make something decent out of it. Honestly, they should have canceled it by now.
They really should have canceled it the moment their like lead actor went off the hinges, but you know.
The reason why I say Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2 are coming out because one, they are mostly done. They're done with it. They have it all set and ready for a film release. Fine, done deal. The Flash, you're still working out the fucking kinks with your own lead actor. You should stop.
Shazam movies could probably continue without actually affecting anything though.
I
haven't seen the second one, granted, but like I'd like a third just because.
I mean, hey, it's no, and you're right. The Shazam films do itself solo enough for it, so they could exist in their universe. I just don't know if that's the direction James Gunn wants for the full picture down the road. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he'll salvage that and do something with it.
Because it's fun. It's just an enjoyable time. Like it's doing what it's supposed to do with the character. I think the only thing that sucks is that we're not going to see Black Adam fight Shazam. I mean, they'll probably do a Black Adam, I guess, but. Not doing the Johnson's version.
Probably not. I mean, well, you know, maybe the plans will change and they can bring him back because because again, it's less about. It's still the character. You can still bring the actor back. It's just going to be significantly different. It can be done. It can be done. It just really depends on how they go. Just make sure just to turn off your brain of anything past relations with it. But moving forward from the DC talk, Moving forward from the DC talk here, let's see. Monte, no, speaking of movies, and especially with collaborations you want to talk about, Across the Spider-Verse has announced the Spectacular Spider-Man suit into that, as well as, see here. Adding the model from the show, our favorite Spider-Man TV show, into the film itself, which is going to be great to see once we spot it.
I'm gonna be happy, but like at the same time, I'm also gonna be kind of sad because it's just gonna be like he's just gonna pop up for a bit. Look, it's gonna be a reminder that the show like just continues to not be done for some reason. But at the same time, it's. I
mean that and Wolverine and the X-Men is another show that still.
That is another one that just got like.
Axed for no reason.
It was a good show. It was bro. They had Liam O'Brien play Nightcrawler, and I didn't know I wanted that.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, the icing on the cake, if we get Spectacular Spider-Man shows up in the Across the Spider-Verse, and it's actually Josh Keaton himself still voicing him, that's icing on the cake. Like, yes, thank you, at least giving us that. That's awesome.
That is one of the better voices for Spider-Man, straight up.
Josh Keaton was dope. I love him. He's still part of Spider-Man voice acting roles because he's currently Electro in the current Spider-Man video games.
Yeah, but that's not Spider-Man though.
I know, but at least it's like he's still around, you know. And that's a nice callback if you know your voice acting history.
Which, I mean, it's fair because like Yuri does a good job. I kind of bounce back and forth on his voice for Spider-Man though. I'm not gonna front for Peter, I should say. Miles is also a situation in which I bounce back and forth because I haven't settled on a definitive Miles voice. I think that Spider-Verse has the best, but I also really like Donald Glover's portrayal.
Shamik Moore and I know Donald Glover, but I think it's mainly because the video game takes a lot of the same voice actors from the show, the animated show at the time. It's just not all everybody's saying because that was the case. Robbie Raymond would have been Spidey and not instead of Yuri, but yeah, it's neither here nor there because the same voice actors for Aunt May, Miles, and that's it. Yeah, for the game.
Pretty much. Shamik Moore isn't a bad Miles. I just don't. I think his Miles is a bit whiny in comparison. Like that's it. It just sounds kind of whiny. I kind of wish he would like reel it in. But like definitely the one that plays him in. Who plays him in Into the Spider-Verse? I can't remember.
What Shamik Moore or Josh Keaton?
No. Who plays Miles in Into the Spider-Verse? Because it's not the same. It's not the same. Well, maybe
Shamik Moore is the voice of Miles. For Into the Spider-Verse, it's a different voice actor for Miles in the game, and in the game is the one from the show.
Okay, so
his name I got. Let me look at this up here.
Oh right, they did replace. Donald didn't play him. The first time they've ever had Miles show up, it was played by Donald Glover.
Yeah, that was an older project. Any of the recent ones, Donald Glover was not part of.
Yeah, what it is in Ultimate Spider-Man, like the show Ultimate Spider-Man. Donald Glover played the first 2 episodes Miles was in. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I think his voice actor, he probably got replaced later on because I don't think he plays him the rest of the show. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, Najee Jeter plays Spider-Man. Plays Miles Morales from the game as well as the show. He's also Monty like this. Remember you played The Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
He's Sam.
Okay. Yeah, like his voice is a little whiny for Miles for me. Shamik Moore is fine. Shamik Moore is actually kind of perfect. I kind of wish they just used him for the game. Not gonna front.
I think he has other projects and is just like doing a TV show though in the video game. Well, I can't say exactly
because his portrayal for him and Into Spider-Verse I actually really enjoyed. Just his voice is kind of perfect for it. I'm trying to think. I don't know who else. Miles doesn't know a lot. I'm trying to remember what else he's playable in. I wonder if like there was a couple other games that like his voice is in. It's not hitting me right now though. Obviously, I guess I would check the Ultimate Alliance game. You know what his voice is in Ultimate Alliance?
Najee Jeter.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I knew that off the rip because I played that front to back.
Yeah, I didn't beat it. I played it too. I just don't remember what it was. It's been a minute since I played that.
Yeah, because it's still the same as Yuri as no. It's the Arnold Taylor Johnson as Spidey in that one, but it's Najee Jeter and no, I'm right. I know, I read it the first time. It is Yuri Lowenthal as Spidey in Ultimate Alliance 3.
Fair enough. Alright. Let me see. What else we gotta look at? We have the Mortal Shell Complete Edition. That actually looks kind of fun also. I actually can't wait to play. Actually, okay. So, let's go through this list.
Yes.
Properly. We have the Mortal Shell Complete Edition, which obviously looks cool. Mortal Shell is an interesting game that's got a little bit of jank, but it's actually it's a cool Souls-like, genuinely. Yeah. It's probably one of the cooler Souls-likes to come out within recent years, I think. Though, you know, it's got some issues, but it does the most like interesting things without being a direct clone. Like it's a clone, but it does the most interesting things out of them, I guess you should say.
Yeah, and it's the full complete edition coming out to the Nintendo Switch version, which is the first time ever coming out to the Switch console. So for the fans who played it, for PC or console players, you can see it on the Switch coming out soon. This will include all the DLC. Yep.
That doesn't sound like the kind of game you'd want to play on the go, but you know.
Hey, different people, different strokes for different folks. You know, so I know some people like to play stressful games on the go for some fucking reason.
Sifu though is being in arena mode. I can't wait to actually play this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically a bunch of arenas in which you're like, hey, just fight a bunch of people in it. And it's like, hey, you mean the thing that the game's the best at? You just told me to just fight a bunch of people all the time. It's like, yeah. Like,
dude, arena modes for me are always great. I think my first arena mode I ever experienced was actually from good old iNinja for the back on PS2, where you unlock everything and just go straight on killing a horde of different enemies as the final unlockable level. It is fun though. Getting all the getting all the trophies or I think collectibles to get to that secret area was a bitch.
Now, from what I can tell, this mode has several different maps. Like a lot of different maps. They actually put a lot of effort into this. And this is just coming out for free if I'm not mistaken. It's not even like a paid DLC.
Nope, yep, it's free.
It's gonna be an update.
Mm-hmm.
Next up we have Oppenheimer.
Yes.
This movie looks really good.
I'm really, really excited for that film coming out.
It looks tense.
Yeah. Especially since there's been news, because there's reports that somehow, because Christopher Nolan's been known to do this, he recreated a nuclear fucking explosion without CGI. Like,
without
how?
CGI, bro.
Yeah. How? Okay, because
so
Chris Nolan
practical effects it. Obviously,
he likes doing a lot of practical effects. He's not dropping
obviously.
a whole nuke, but he's able to recreate the explosion somehow. Like, how did you do this? Because I'm really curious. Outside of just blowing up an actual nuke, how did you do this?
Fans. A lot
because
of
it's yeah,
and you probably did some chemistry to kind of get the explosions to explode in a mushroom form.
Yeah, he's very ingenious. He doesn't like using a whole lot of CGI unless he has to. For instance, in the movie Tenet, he actually took a full-on Boeing 747 and blew it up for the film. A full-size Boeing 747, like, yikes!
That's
and
ridiculous as far as like.
Even for like the CGI heavy ones, like the movie Interstellar, the scene where you actually made a black hole for that one, that was all based off actual algorithms of how a black hole would be technically realized. Most accurate portrayal of a black hole ever, and like that is ingenious. That is cool as hell. So Chris Nolan really pushes the envelope of a lot of things, and I'm just curious eventually figuring out like how did you blow up a nuke for this film? I gotta know.
How did you manage to do this?
I just gotta know. Unless you know somebody who has a nuke in their backyard that hasn't been exploded for fucking years, which is actually possible because there's an exploded nuke in North Carolina.
That's fair. We should get rid of that.
No one's bothered yet. In 70 years.
But next up we have Potion Party. Potion Party is a cool one.
Yeah, Potion Party is a very cutesy shop management game where you manage, create, and endorse a potion shop for your customers. You create potions, sell them on the market, less prices. It's a neat little management simulator game if you are interested. Very cutesy, really nice looking.
We also have Unexplored 2, which is I think we said it was a Diablo-like. It was a survival of Zelda Diablo-like.
Yeah, like traditional Zelda Diablo-like isometric camera angle. You go through sections, killing enemies in a Diablo manner, hack and slashing, solving puzzles, and all that such. It's a sequel to Unexplored 1 because it's Unexplored 2, and I did not know Unexplored 1 even existed. Like, oh, okay.
I like its art style though. It does a really nice shell-shaded art style that kind of just vibes with it. It's kind of fun.
I like the lighting situation. It looks really cool for sure. It looks fun for sure. I'll keep an eye out for that. Neat little indie title.
And then we have Risk of Rain Returns. So apparently they're just remaking the first Risk of Rain game. I'm assuming to just look better, using better sprites and things of that nature.
That and some mechanics they developed back when they were working on Risk of Rain 2. Not the same development studio, obviously, because Gearbox.
I don't really truly understand because like, what are they adding from the 3D one that they're putting into the 2D one? I don't really know what the thing would be. Like, what is it that they're...
It's not the same development team as far as I understand because Gearbox recently just bought the IP to the entire Risk of Rain franchise, but not the developers.
I don't think Hoopla is doing anything with this.
No, they're not involved. But we'll see how this goes, especially since the full-on remake. I think it's still going to be the 2D setting, unless it's they fully remake the first game into 3D as well.
I'd be cool with that. Yeah. I don't know how that would play out, but I'd be down. I mean, the
I
first game
mean,
has a bunch of different items and stuff like that that just don't get ported over. Didn't get ported over into the second game, so it'd be cool to see.
it could be
I'd be
that,
down.
yeah. I mean, hey, I mean, for the fans who play Risk of Rain, if there is a story to it, maybe they'll do that. But I don't know if
I mean,
there's actually a story.
there's a story to both of them.
Okay, maybe it's that. I don't know. We'll see how that goes when it fully came out. This is just the announcement trailer, so no full reveal on how the gameplay feature changes are going to be like. But
it
keep
does
an eye
seem
out
to
for
have that art style akin to its 2D counterpart originally. It looks more detailed, honestly, than its original counterpart. So,
yeah,
I mean,
and it could be cool. It's probably going to be fun. Nevertheless, just keep an eye out for it, and we shall as well to see what the gameplay changes are introduced as well. Okay. Next up, we have Grimoire Once More.
Yeah, this one looks kind of fun. It is a 2D
tower
defense game in which it has an art style akin to
Dragon's
usual thing. So Vanillaware work if you like good art, and I'm pretty sure this is not done by Vanillaware, correct?
I don't believe
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think we said this every time we've looked at this game. Is like it's not done by them, but they do a good job mimicking it, which.
Yeah, it's not Vanillaware. It's Base Escape is the company that made it. Really cool art style, and it's a tower defense game. So if people like the good old tower defense games to this day, or like either the ones not traditional like the balloons or like even Kingdom Rush, but like the old school PS2 era tower defense games. Like I think one was called Overlord. Overlord was a similar one, or Orcs Must Die. It's similar to that a little bit.
Yeah, but it's not 3D.
It's not 3D.
It's very 3D.
3D, yeah. 2D tower defense game. It looks fun though. It's cute and probably an interesting story to it, based on the glimpse, because there's a lot that seems to be talking cutscenes involved.
Also, next we have another potion game. We have Potion Craft.
Yes, this one is less about the management of a business and more actually the alchemy and figure and crafting elements of making a potion. More internal elements of finding different mystical or even normal ingredients and mixing a potion and seeing the effects after it and potentially selling it for more upgrades down the road. So, like, it's more, if you're more into the technical aspects of management and crafting systems, this is definitely it. I have been keeping this on it for a while because it's been early access on Steam for a good while now.
Next we have Tuesday Morning, a game that I'm pretty sure we've talked about on this podcast before, but we are once again getting more gameplay for it. It's got a demo that is available out actually for PlayStation 5, and I'm pretty sure it's for other things as well. It probably just has a demo in general, but we had the PlayStation 5 trailer up. This is I want to say, would you say this is more Dark Souls or Witcher combat-wise?
Witcher.
Because it reminds me of Witcher.
Yeah. It plays more similar to that of Witcher in my eyes, mainly because of the movement is a lot more free-flowing and not as sluggish as your typical Dark Souls would be.
Dark Souls game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the character looks extremely like a Witcher. I'm not even kidding. He's basically Geralt, but without the white hair. And he's not carrying two swords on his back. He just has the one.
Yeah, but he carries it just like Geralt does on his back, where he has a long coat, similar to any like your DCM game characters. Looks like a Souls-like health flask on his hip, and the graphics reminds me a lot like early PS2-esque.
I want to say that it's a low res.
Very low. It's definitely a real low res look, and it's stylized for that for sure.
It looks great.
I'm intrigued by it. It looks really fun. I can't wait to see more details of it for sure, especially since it's a full-on indie project. And I think, as far as I know, I just checked the demo for it. Looks like they just announced it, so I don't think the demo's out quite as yet. Amani, you're gonna have to check that for me afterwards if it's on the PS5 already, because I just checked Steam, nothing there.
Okay, so I will be checking that. Well, it does say it's the announcement. Does the end of the trailer say when?
Nope.
Okay, well, it might be already out for PS5. I'll definitely play that when I get back.
Oh, yeah, it's a demo available now. Yeah, it's out now.
Alright, there we go.
Yeah, check the PS5 out.
Chance. Definitely give it a shot. Next up, we have After Image, which is, what do we got on this one?
A side-scrolling, Souls-like Metroidvania character action game. We traverse around this very fancy, mythological-looking locale with a lot of art, like, I say porcelain punk craft elements, like clockwork, but really fancy looking stuff. and unique Metroidvania style attacks with Souls functionality and dodging and AOE attacks. Coming out April 25th of next year. Looks neat though.
Does look really fun.
This seems to be Xbox exclusive, so the Xbox exclusive title from the looks of it. I only see the Xbox release, and that's it. It could be released for other consoles, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one later.
What we also have next is Primal Hunt, which is a VR dinosaur hunting game.
Yep, and not your traditional dinosaur hunting game, because you seem to be using a lot of futuristic tech to hunt dinosaurs and Ice Age creatures, but they also eventually will get upgrades themselves, and you fight a roboticized Stegosaurus T-Rex with lasers and a Dimetrodon with a fucking rocket launcher.
Sounds like a fun time if you got a new VR headset for Christmas, guys. So, get to enjoy that one. That sounds like an awesome time.
Yep.
Next up, we have Ellipse, which is a platforming Metroidvania.
Another
huge
one,
emphasis on platforming.
A lot of traversal focus, mostly on the traversal and movement mechanics and the combat focus. It reminds me of a little bit like Ori and the Blind Forest, but
I was actually just about to say that. It reminds me a lot of Ori. So if you played Ori and you want something else to just mess around with, I'd say Ellipse might cleanse that palate of yours until we can finally get another one. Either that or Silk Song, because Hollow Knight is very similar in that way too. So we're kind of waiting on Silk Song. It looks like it would do a lot of the similar things. I don't know when that game is coming out.
Silk Song, I think, was but I think they said they're going for a full sequel. I think that's supposed to come out sometime next year. Let's see. Yeah, sometime next year. They said, to be announced. They haven't really made an official date yet.
It just snowballed.
Next
really we got snowball. But next
we got I'm gonna probably butcher this. Scabma Snowfall, which is looks like adventure traversal game of the Inuit culture, at least Native Canadian culture, where you play as a child of a Native Canadian tribe using a drum to create spells that banish spirits and use other potential spirits exploring the Native Canadian wilderness. Really trippy, very spiritual, very beautiful looking environments in traversal. You move a lot in this one, which is surprising. Whoa.
Like that. Just going.
Yeah, it's weirdly impressive. It looks really nice too, especially since you get to pet a little tiny reindeer.
Well, yeah, if you get to pet a reindeer, then that's like the only way. If you didn't get to pet the reindeer, I mean, you had to take points off the game by default. Come on now. That's how this works.
Yep. It's a unique one because your main weapon is literally a drum that you summon spells and spirits with to to attack against enemies, which is simply like these dark spirits. So yeah, looks unique. Reminds me of what was that game? Kenya and the Staff Spirits or something like that.
Yeah.
Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah. Bridge of Spirits.
Reminds me of
Kenya's cool though. Kenya's a cool game. I need to actually finish that when I get the opportunity.
Yeah, it reminds me of that a little bit. It looked not as combat offensive, but enough to keep you going.
It came out around the same time with Deathloop, and I really should have, instead of playing Deathloop, played Kenya.
Kenya, yeah.
Because that probably would have been better time.
Next
I just didn't really get along with Deathloop all that much.
I understand, but I guess how Deathloop is supposed to be designed, it's definitely different. So, but I think it's more straightforward. But the next game we have on the list here, we have
no one really asked for, but they're doing it, I guess.
Yeah, Disney Speedstorm, which is a dark, grittier version of the Disney's racing game. It has demolition mechanics. You have Disney characters like Mickey, Donald, and a bunch of other Disney characters racing cars, but with rocket launchers and guns. Okay, all right, you're going for the Jack X legacy. All right, I'm down for that.
I don't know why we're going for this, but it's fine.
I'm cool with it. Yeah,
they're coming for that. Sega stopped doing the Sega All Stars Racing, and they're coming for that spot. Apparently, they're like, we got it, and I'm like, well, I guess.
Yeah. Go for the teen route for Disney development funds. Granted, though, no one really asked for another racing game out of this. For it, in terms of I'm not too ingrained in the racing community, but I think Mario Kart is still top tier on that list.
Yeah, Mario Kart, I'm pretty sure has the arcade racing scene on lock a little bit. I mean, it's not really. There's actually a ton of indie ones that come out, but I don't feel like enough people play them. This is genuine, honest truth. but they
Yeah.
should.
I think the
Because
current one is
it's a
Need
lot
for
of
Speed
wipeouts.
Underground. Yeah, I think the current one's
Yeah,
Need for Speed Unbound. This is the newest one.
Need for Speed is the newest arcade one because if we're talking about like those kind, well, to be fair, Need for Speed is definitely more less sim. It's less sim and more arcadey than like
Yeah, like
Forza
your or Gran Turismo.
or Gran Turismo. Yeah, which
Mm-hmm.
those don't really count. I mean,
Count.
some people say Forza's pretty. Forza, I forgot which one. I think it's the Horizon
Forza
series.
Horizon 5. Yeah, because that's definitely more
One of them is
arcadey.
more arcadey than the other one, but like even then, it's not really arcadey.
Oh yeah, Horizon Turbo is definitely more arcadey because that was just like it has a cel shaded look. Forza Horizon numbered ones are more realistic, but still has arcadey elements because they're less fully detailed realism. Gran Turismo is just straight up sim,
Yeah,
but this Disney Speedstorm follows the Demolition Derby uh, mechanic where you actually get to shoot down and attack your opponents mid race. Like, okay, I can't
that's
wait to
always
play as
fun.
Elsa shooting down my uh, just shooting down a fucking Wreck It Ralph in a golf cart.
You're gonna blast your all-time least favorite Disney character. I'd rather be anyone else shooting Elsa, but fine, I guess. Now that
I
I
don't know
think
what
about
I
it.
don't know how many characters they're adding for it because Disney has a shitload of them. But we're gonna see a good variety of them in destructive cars. Essentially, it looks fun, and it's apparently out. No, it's wishlisted now, so it's be currently in development. No, it's available now. It's PlayStation Store available now.
Well, there you go. You can play
Huh.
that now, guys.
I don't know. The store page is available now, but the game is coming out next year.
Okay, never mind then. You
Yeah,
can't
sorry.
play it now.
Yeah, wish listed now if you're interested in a Demolition Derby type of Disney game.
False
It
alarm
looks
for those that got really excited.
yeah, it looks neat. So yep. The next on the list we have Survive, spelled with a one and a three at the end.
Yeah, well, this is
It's
another VR game.
a PSVR zombie survival game that has co-op functionality where you go fight against hordes of zombies in different locales as you traverse, go for crafting, getting weaponry, and just surviving zombie hordes that come through you. Looks fun. Let's see, is
Honestly.
it? Yeah, it looks dope. Definitely better playing with a buddy. Okay, it's available on PSVR now, so when PSVR 2 comes out, this will no longer be playable.
Well, now we know.
Yeah, so if you want to play this, anyone who currently has a PSVR, great. I would, if you like zombie games, definitely give this a shot. I would say it's similar in the vein of Satan's Sinner, just not as stylized. But if you like zombie horde shooters in VR, I would say you'll definitely you might like this one. Looks fun though, definitely fun.
Next up, we do have. I will say we do have for sure confirmation that we are getting a DLC for Elden Ring down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, recently they released their Coliseum pack, which is just basically a giant Coliseum thing to allow PvP for anybody. So if you're a PvP fan in Dark Souls or any of those games, you should probably jump into that because now you have a chance to play a bunch of different modes that are directly designed by the developer for PvP. But yeah, I can't wait to get back in Elden Ring. And we don't have an exact we don't have an exact release date, but we do know that we have confirmation that more is coming. Like they plan on releasing, I think it's some later this year specifically.
Yeah,
Correct.
what it will entail, no fucking idea.
No clue, but I'm down.
And hey,
Basically,
I mean, Souls DLC has always usually been good. For the most part, I still like the old Hunters DLC with Bloodborne. Dark Souls 3 DLC was fucking great. Sekiro's DLC wasn't really DLC, and it's pretty much like a boss rush and New Game Plus, I believe, but that's about it.
that's true.
Yeah.
But can't wait to see this come through.
Yep.
Huh.
Oh, and some bad news, unfortunately, we have here. So anybody who's been keeping an eye on the AR Yu-Gi-Oh game that Konami's been working on or announced like years ago, we're shit out of luck.
Just straight up. Yeah, it's just not happening, guys.
Nope.
Bandai
Can I re-
Namco has come for it.
Yep. I just want to say once again, fuck Konami.
What a I said Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco
Yeah.
is significantly better at this
Yeah.
than
Yeah, no, Konami owns all of Yu-Gi-Oh, and that sucks.
yeah. Konami tends to be one of those people that kind of just ruin things for everybody. What a weird, what is such a buzzkill thing to do that people are coming up with a really really cool way to experience your game. They're not really changing anything. They're just making an app so that when you play it, it shows up and does the thing that you say it does in the anime, right?
Yep. But nope.
And yeah, just ruins it. Just destroys it. Nope, not gonna exist anymore. That's
Nope.
some booty cheeks.
It's really fucking lame, and it's like, and after like with some, and they just regained recently some goodwill with the Silent Hill fan base after announcing 3 Silent Hill projects, which is not going to be, well, anyone looking closer into it, here's fingers crossed it's great. More than likely it won't be, but that's goodwill has now been kind of dashed for any Yu-Gi-Oh fan base, unless they suddenly. The only thing they could do worse, and I don't want to jinx this, I really don't fucking want to, but if they suddenly just cancel Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels, period, and just kills that game, and then turn Yu-Gi-Oh! Into a pachinko machine,
Yu-Gi-Oh is pachinko now.
just,
You pachinko for your cards. Do it.
every time you need to play a card, you need to pull the lever.
See what happens, and maybe you'll get the right card after maybe you get lucky on your pachinko thing, because you might like freeze up and just not pull a card because of pachinko. Extra randomness to the game of random things.
It's like, you want to get better chances? Pay more. Like,
we added extra random.
Oh boy. All right, but yeah, that's it for this docket. Holiday season, so not too much has been announced this time around.
And so it's all good. Now we have our little keep an eye on section, the actual keep an eye on section, because we have a couple of these that we have to give you guys. So let's talk about Arcadian Rift and how nice this game looks.
Yep, Arcadian
first
Rift.
Person
FPS looks like a traversal system. So the environments remind me a lot of like Control, with a lot of blocky elements on a spaceship scenario. But you have to swing yourself across the stage, change out your weaponry, and fight. And looks a little bit like a little bit of a bullet hell, but looks really neat and fun.
Honestly. Plus, you know, you get a cool, crazy magic sword that can become a boomerang, and it's like a crystal laser sword, and then you also get a grappling hook. Look, you're winning if you have a grappling hook in your.
Looks like it's gonna be score-based system, because I do see some score numbers showing up in midsection. So it's definitely, it's a little bit focused on roguelite elements, because you get some boosters you can apply to your character as you play through the certain presets you want to make it, as well as certain runs you want to go for it. So definitely focus on a little bit more.
Always fun. I like how you also have an Omniblade.
Yep.
You just casually have an Omniblade, by the way.
Hey, it's sci-fi, man. No one carries swords in the future anymore. They get Omniblades.
I mean, Omniblades are cool. I'm not even gonna front. But I'm super down. Magic sci-fi. Let's go.
It looks dope. Yep. Next one is we're gonna spell this out one for this one. We have a Twitter account named Mika Moru4 SE. Strictly almost entirely Japanese, so unless you know Japanese, well, we do apologize to the Irish barrier, but she has done she or he has done.
It's not very clear considering we can't read it.
We can't read Japanese. Yeah.
But they do amazing work.
Yep, very
basically
cool artwork.
In the style of pretty much any of the artwork for any of the Mega Man Zero games.
She's done work for Happy Holidays for Iron Man, Chainsaw Man, Mega Man, a lot of mans.
A lot of mans in there.
Yep. Big Gundam fan as well. And
crazy.
Really neat, dope-looking artwork for Samus Aran. This artist is really well detailed on technological elements on their work, because they implement little pieces and bits that fit onto the structure very well. They're really good at technological form factor, mecha-esque details.
Or I guess more like an android-esque details. Like everything seems very like human while being extremely robot. Like
yes, because they did one for Arkham Knight as well, and I can see every single detail in the armor piece for both Arkham Knight as well as Batman's. Very utilitarian look. Very slick looking.
But by all means, guys, go check that out. Go look at that. I mean, support them. We also have Libby. Or live?
Live, yeah, just live. A Brazilian digital artist and a Brazilian digital artist working and living in Brazil. Her work is is a freelance artist. She has this style of stylized realism look because she takes essentially frameworks of real life from both trains, living rooms, and even shops, and just pretty much stylize it to fit into like almost a comic book esque display of how it would look. Because it looks a mix of both ultra realistic, but also still um, drawn, colorized look to it as well. It's a
So
weird,
there's a lot of
yeah.
surrealism, which
Mm-hmm.
is fun.
It's a little hard to
Surrealism.
describe what this one is. I guess would be technically surrealism because it is just like a stylized version of real life.
Well, no, some of her works is just straight up just surrealism as a whole.
Okay.
Uh, like you're not wrong. She does a lot of still lifes and things
Mm-hmm.
like that, which are really cool. But they look great because they're in this like I think painterly style, very strokes. Like it has
Mm-hmm.
strokes and things like that, stroke heavy.
Watercolor look.
Um,
Yeah.
nice watercolor looks. But I like these. They got some really cool. Like they got some six Spider-Man ones that are in there. I think you said Mayday was in here at some point.
Hmm? I think so. Yeah. I'm trying to find it now, but not getting any luck here. Let's
But by all
see.
means, guys, go check them out for sure.
Mm-hmm. It
See, they're
looks
cool.
really cool. Yep.
Oh,
Cool
there's a cool
artwork.
one with them fighting in the Sinister Six. That's actually kind of sick.
Yep. And the last one we got here is uh, developer Matthew of InChain Development Work, a movement FPS with Souls-like DNA, where this guy is currently making a first-person shooter with a very unique mechanic system with both shooting projectiles, launching from said projectiles, jumping on them, and even throwing a lantern that lights your way to knock bullets out in midair and swing around. Like it's a very intriguing mechanic system for a boomer shooter. Like I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued.
The fact that it has Souls-like mechanics is kind of the thing that's getting me on this one. Because as much as like a lot of things do Souls-like mechanics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shooters aren't really one of those things that tend to take from that. So it's like I'm kind of curious just on that alone to see what they're gonna do.
The movement definitely throws me off because I feel like it fits more into Doom than Souls, like at least from the movement mechanics. Because
Oh no, it's very Quake and Doom with
yeah,
how they want you to move, but at the same time, obviously there's gonna be like some fun stuff. Maybe there's just you're gonna have corpse runs and things of that nature,
mm-hmm.
which I mean that seems interesting. Also, there's something cool about drop kicking a grenade at somebody
Yeah,
because you can do that.
you can
But
simply just like throw a grenade like onto your feet, bounce it up on the ground, and just drop kick it straight into the enemy's face above you.
which is that's just fun.
That's just sick. I just can't wait to see
But
this in full detail when it comes out.
oh yeah, for sure. But I think that's gonna do it for this one. Yeah, there's nothing else on this. So happy holidays once again to everyone. Thank you for another great year. And if we do not have an episode by the time, I think we should, but I'm not sure. By the
New
time,
Year's is, let's see here. Let me just check that calendar real fast. It is literally the 31st. This next Saturday.
we will attempt to put up an episode. Then it will not be the last episode of this one, but we will get there when we get there. But until then, we will catch you all later.
Yep. See you guys.